Walt Disney Company invested $1 billion into an AI strategy that was mixing Disney Plus and content creators up with everything Disney has ever made. It's a big deal, and it's something they've already started rolling out. But now they're rolling over in their graves because it turns out all that AI is going away. Sora, ChatGPT, OpenAI under Sam Altman says, well, they dumped Disney, and now they're explaining why. Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again. It's our job to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. And if you're one of those drive-by journalists out there, and we know you're not one of those, no. We would never say such a pejorative thing. But if you are one, we'll get your jumbo pencils ready because tomorrow's headlines are happening today, right here. Folks, click the like button and off we go. Sam Altman and ChatGPT are claiming they dumped Disney and now they're dealing the details out. The dirt is being rained down. Poor Diz, poor new CEO, Josh D'Amaro. Here we go. This by Alex Weprin out of The Hollywood Reporter. Sam Altman says OpenAI is still in talks with Disney after Sora shutdown. That is the most generous headline for what we're about to read in the history of generous headlines. I'll explain why in just a second. Altman says he spoke to both Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro and former Disney CEO Bob Iger to give them a heads up about the decision. Altman says D'Amaro told him, I get it, which that's not the greatest way to respond. If Altman thinks that is playing positively, I don't think it is. That doesn't sound like a guy who's real happy with it. Here's the deal, folks. We've been told, and this has been leaked out, it's a little bit of rumor, but that Disney did not know until the night before. So if Altman called them the night before or the day thereof, when they shut down Sora, the video gen system that Disney spent $1 billion on and was the full future plan for Disney Plus, if he called them the night before, the day of, and he's the one who said, hey guys, we're shutting down this thing you invested $1 billion in and your entire company's streaming system is dependent on, still not a good look. Here's what it says. When OpenAI CEO Sam Altman made the decision to shut down Sora, the company's AI video generation tool, he called former Disney CEO Bob Iger to give a heads up. Iger was the one who spearheaded the partnership, which we're learning now, which would have given Sora access to hundreds of Disney characters, and with the entertainment company investing $1 billion in the AI giant. With OpenAI getting out of the video generation business, the Disney deal was toast before it even got kicked off. Remember, this was they've already done the vertical integration into Disney Plus, and this was the plan for people to make their own vertical content that people would watch. It would go trending, etc. This is everything to Disney. Here's what Altman says D'Amaro told him. I get it. That's it. Like, not, we understand it's a big, we would love to work. No, I get it. I mean, Blaine, the way that was said is what I want to know. Like, did he say, I get it? Or did he say, I get it? Like, how was that presented? This is not good. Here's one more quote, and then I'll get your thoughts on this, Blaine, because this is crazy to me. It says, it's super sad always to disappoint a partner or users or a team, all of which are doing incredible work. This is from Altman. Now, when he says that, he's talking about, it's super sad to disappoint. This was $1 billion investment from Disney that he yanked out from underneath them 12 hours before it was public. And oh, by the way, it's everything they bet for Disney Plus to change it, and they're halfway through the changeover with no partner now. So this is kind of a big deal. Blaine, what are your thoughts on the way this is being phrased now? And by the way, Blaine, when it says that Disney wants to work with them again, it's that Disney is open to the idea that somehow they might work with ChatGPT, not Sora. It's all gone.
Right.
Your thoughts, Blaine?
Right. Yeah, this whole thing is super weird. I just wonder, I've been in the camp where I've been saying for a while that I feel like they're propping the AI stuff up to be more than it actually is capable of. And there's like a part of me that wonders, it's like, was this them writing a check that they couldn't quite cash? Could they not actually like pull off whatever it was that they were promising with this?
Well,
and that's really why I pulled out.
To explain this, so what happened was Grok Imagine, Elon Musk, they launched the Colossus supercomputer in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's the largest supercomputer on earth, and it's not going to stop. Sam Altman and OpenAI, they don't have data centers. So they're dependent on other people. Elon leapfrogged him in video generation to the point that Sora was losing like $1 million a day at least. And there was no sign that they could ever catch Grok Imagine. And Google Veo had pulled ahead, and Cdance. And so this was a product that was dead in the water. And so they just dropped it. Here's their reasoning. We'll put it up on screen. This is the quote from Sam Altman again. It says, I love Sora. I love generated videos. And I love should be loved, our partnership with Disney. And we're working hard with them to find a world. This is the greatest quote ever. By the way, I don't think that Sam Altman is long. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he's long for being the head of OpenAI. This thing's falling apart. But here's what he says. We're working hard with them to find a world where they can still do something amazing, and we can help with that. Now, Lauren, you'll notice he's not talking about video. He's just saying, we'd love to help you do something, anything amazing down the road, maybe that we do. But he says, we need to concentrate on our compute and our product capacity into these next generation of automated researchers and companies. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'll get to what Sam Altman says they're really doing. But Lauren, this is not a case of AI underperforming or Disney, getting caught in an AI bubble. This is a company that just completely screwed them over royally as they're struggling now.
I like to imagine as this conversation was going on that Sam Altman was dressed as a pirate and speaking in a pirate accent. It's like, yar, we be leaving behind the Sora image generation. Sorry. I just love this idea, and I am certain that there were more words from Josh D'Amaro than just "I get it," and I'm pretty
I get it, and that was the end of the conversation. No, I don't think so. I think it probably was followed up with something like, "How could you screw us over like this? We're halfway into developing Disney Plus. We've already rolled it out. Now we have nothing. What have you done?"
What would make this even better was if he actually, instead of communicating with him by phone, that he had an AI-generated image of himself as Captain Hook delivering the message. I just love the thought.
Well, I'm not convinced that Sam Altman is actually fully human, right? I mean, he's kind of like Zuckerberg was. I think he's part robot.
The name of his podcast is Almost Human or something like that. So he's full on admitting to it.
So here's Sam Altman. Here's the video this comes from, and I'm going to play what he says they're doing instead of Sora now. Okay, so why did they drop Disney? Why did they have the breakup? Well, this is what he says that OpenAI is up to. Here we go, folks. We'll play it starting right now.
Now, eventually, I think these decisions will be made by society. It's like not up to the CEO of a company that makes airplanes what the safety regulations are. But for now, we kind of got to do it.
We've obviously talked a lot about the fears, but there is so much excitement about what this technology can do. OpenAI has a foundation that's focused on humanity's biggest problems. Where do you see this being good for humans in a very specific way?
My most exciting meeting of last week was with a physicist who's using one of our latest internal systems. He said, my mind has been completely blown. I didn't think this would ever happen. We are going to make decades worth of theoretical physics progress in the next couple of years. And, some people will say, okay, who cares? You can write a better equation. But I am a believer that scientific progress is one of the most, maybe the most important thing we can do to make the world better and better. Obviously, we can do things like develop new cures for diseases, but there's so much more. Material science, new ways to produce clean and cheap energy, abundant energy, that if we are really on the precipice of being able to use AI to dramatically accelerate science, then I think we can solve some of the biggest problems in the world.
Then he hissed and left behind a clutch of eggs.
So Altman, but this is the claim, and it's more broadly in this interview. What they're talking about is, why are you severing with certain relationships? What is it that you're doing now? And again, I think that OpenAI, although they were in the lead, they're the first ones, right? ChatGPT, and they're the household name for AI. But I think they're falling behind. And I think strategically and fundamentally, they're falling behind. But Altman is basically saying, it's cute to make video generations of Mickey Mouse, but what we're going to be about is trying to solve the future of humanity and end disease and give, extension to life and all this kind of stuff. And Disney and their $1 billion investment, it just never really mattered that much. And that's the dumping of Disney. And I don't know where they go now. I don't know what Disney does. They can't go to Elon because he hates their guts, and they earned that. They can't really go to Google because they have no leverage. I guess they could, but Google is going to extract all the money out of them now. So I don't know, guys. Where do you think Disney goes to try to fix this problem? They've got a Disney Plus rollout now that's dependent on AI, and they got no AI.
Right. I mean, I personally, I didn't think it was a great idea to begin with. I would say that they scrap it. Personally, I know that they've invested money in it, but we know that they've made plenty of worse investments in the past however many years. Like I don't really understand the draw to this, and I think that one of the things that we've been hearing people talk about of late is like how authenticity and things like that are going to be the currency coming forward. And it's like, I think doubling down on AI as a company that has like original IP and stuff just does not sound like the best idea. But there are, I mean, like you said, there are other companies that are doing this stuff that they could technically partner with, but they don't have great relationships. I would say to just abandon this for a while, stop talking about it and just pretend like it wasn't a thing. And then if they make some better partnership, just stealth launch it and just see what it does versus making some kind of big deal about it.
Lauren, your thoughts on this and just I guess how small Disney feels, because OpenAI, it didn't even occur to them. They're just like, you know what, $1 billion and Mickey Mouse. No, that's not what we're doing. Just drop it and call the next day. And I get it was the answer. How small does this make them appear?
Well, they're in a real bind now, because I think that our belief was that the reason that they were doing this is that they wanted to have user-generated content that was going to be on Disney Plus to try and rescue them and possibly act as an idea generation factory that they could exploit. If they've lost that, they're in some real trouble, because I don't know how you fix Disney Plus. And the other issue is that they've cut off all of their additional revenue streams. They don't really make content right now that a lot of people are eager to watch. And so you don't have a draw to the streaming platform. You're not generating new IPs that make people want to spend money. Honestly, I think they're going to have to look more seriously at licensing their characters to third parties that can do something with them better than they can. And I think they really need to start examining physical media again. I keep harping on this. I think all of the studios need to be doing this. They have cut off their own legs by trying to vault all of their content and force people into the subscription model. But people are wise to this. They'll subscribe long enough to get what they want, and then they go away, or they'll take to the high seas. If they want to fix their revenues, they got to provide what the people want, and they have to do it at a decent cost. And right now, they're not doing that. And I agree with you. I don't think that they have the mobility to be able to pivot from this to fix their revenue issues. So they're going to have to start making some really tough choices that they don't want to make.
And the problem for Disney, they're going to have to find partners who are much, much, much bigger than they, and they have no leverage with them, and they're going to be small fries in a sea of big fish with far bigger concerns than generating Mickey Mouse. Where they're going to find those people? I hope not China, because Disney in the past has loved them some China.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
You know, it's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.